Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shamayo, and this is a MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and online, lots of different events online these days. We have awakening panels and fairs. In our fairs, we have a larger collection of practitioners. We do a little bit of intuitive panel and then offer free talks, and we're all available to do sessions. And then in our panels, we have a smaller number of practitioners that have a specialty, and we answer questions from the audience on a theme. So tonight is a panel, and tonight the theme is animal communication and healing. Some of our practitioners specialize just in working with animals, and some of our practitioners work with a number of things, a number of kind of mediums, a number of people and animals, and yeah, so just lots of diversity and perspectives here tonight. We'll be able to take questions on all topics. We're focused on animals, and we can talk with you about anything tonight. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go through and have you meet the practitioners. And since a few of us focus specifically on animals, we'll just mix in introducing ourselves and talking about the topic. So practitioners, as you go through and have about 3 minutes or so this time, feel free to talk about yourself and your work and all that you do. If you want, you can share a little of how you started doing your work, and then share about the part of your work that focuses on animals so people know how you'll be applying your gifts to that tonight. All right, great. And let's see. So maybe we'll share in an order tonight, if you're all right with that. Yeah, well, let's go maybe in a similar order we did before. So we'll have probably, we'll have Carolyn share, and then Cindy, and then Susie. So we'll start off that way. And yeah, go ahead and take 3 minutes. All right, Carol, you ready?
I am ready. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for coming and attending tonight. We are so honored to be here, all of us, and we're all excited to be talking and connecting with your animals. I am Carolyn Osborne. I'm an energy intuitive. My business is Chiron Energy Medicine, and I work with people and with animals. I am an energy medicine practitioner. I am an animal communicator, and I'm a certified medical intuitive practitioner. So I have all sorts of different ways of working with animals. I also have a new energy frequency machine called the Healing Machine that also works with animals and sending energies and frequencies to the animals to also help. And that's been very successful as well. So all these different tools to help you and your animals. So I work with animals from horses on down. I do have a horse I ride. I use my energy medicine and talk with him all the time, and he loves it. I also do, as a result, with probably horses and even with dogs, I do performance work, helping the owner and the animal better their performance skills and working together. So that's another aspect of working with the animals that I do that's pretty unique. And the energy medicine system I work is based on acupuncture. So it's all about that Chinese medicine, 5 element theory. So it's like acupuncture without the needles. And it's great because I do it all on Zoom and over the phone if necessary as well. And the animals, of course, love it. And you'll be seeing some of that tonight probably as well. So all these different ways of helping with animals. Um, the animal communication piece, I love talking with your animals. I help find out what they're thinking as well as then working with the healing. And I also do a little bit of talking to animals after they have crossed as well. So my website is Chiron, Chiron, energymedicine.com. I offer a free consultation for anybody. If you have any questions or want to learn more about how I can help you, I'm there for you. And I would love to talk to you. And I'm looking forward to answering your questions tonight. So please bring them on. And I'm looking forward to working with this great panel. It's a great bunch of ladies here. So thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
Great. Thanks so much, Carolyn. I think we said Cindy next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cindy McGonigal. I'm a psychic medium and I'm a palmist. And I had a visitation of a tiger at my bedside when I lived in Ventura, which was for the past 4 years. And the tiger was pleading with me to come down to Southern California, where I now live, in just outside of Palm Springs, to help the animals down here. So I said, of course, yes. And so I use my psychic skills to offer what I call My Pet and Me readings. And so I really have a really good time with that because I find that people, they have a love connection with their animals. And that love connection really opens up their intuitive gifts of wanting to be able to listen with a higher consciousness that we're all connecting with right now, become much more aware of the fact that we can become clairvoyant and we can listen through our hearts and communicate through our hearts. So, as a result of working with me, I help you to really understand what your animal's trying to say to you and what your animal needs. Here in India, where I live, I actually volunteer at a no-kill shelter. And what I do there is I'm a Reiki master and I give each of the animals one at a time some Reiki to calm them down. Then I ask them to please tell me their history. And I write all these things down like a little doctor. And then I ask them, what are you looking for in a forever home? And then they tell me, and I write those notes down. And then I share that with the supervisor of the shelter there and she shares it with the staff. And that way that we can ensure that we find those kinds of homes that are right for the pets so we don't have a return of the pet. And I just love going there because, you know, it's pure love, and the animals love to give love. So each of you who have animals tonight, I hope you're going to ask us to read them. And of course, we're here to help read you. And as a psychic, I can give you a little bit of numerology. I can connect you with your guardian angel. I can connect you with the archangels. I work with totem animals. And if I can be of any assistance in your life, I'm here for you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Cindy. I think we have Susie up next, and then let's have Donna, and then Carrie, and then Denise.
Hi, I'm Susie Parker Goins. I'm with Blue Lightning Healing. I'm a channel, so I'm able to communicate with spirit, with divine, and bring it forward to you so you can talk to your spirit guides and have that kind of face-to-face conversation with them so you can ask those questions or get the perspectives, I don't know, trade jokes, recipes, whatever you want to do. I'm also an energy healer, so I do Reiki and I can do body scans and help identify blockages that you're holding in your body and what your pet is holding in their body. One of our cats, helped me through my cancer experience and developed their own tumors. Gee whiz, thanks, cat. I'm also a past life explorer and I can heal those past lives. I can help resolve those and also identify lives you and your pet may have had before. My thought is that since we are all based in spirit, that communicating with spirit, it doesn't matter what physical form they're taking. Spirit communicates and you can talk to them as you want and I talk to them and we're all learning the physical experience. I have a website, bluelightninghealing.com, and I have my Blue Lightning Healing Meditations podcast I upload to twice a week. Yeah, I guess that's what I have tonight. I'm so excited to talk to everybody's pets tonight or to talk to you about the pets because it's a learning process for me too. We just got a dog for the first time in I don't know, 8 years. And so I'm working on establishing those communications. I'll be listening as eagerly as anyone else is tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. Talk to you later.
Thanks so much. All right. Let's see. I think, did we talk about Donna next? I can't quite remember. Go ahead.
Yep. Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Donna Sauer. I have a degree in a PhD in biology, a master's in zoology, and I taught for 30 years in medical sciences. The work I do now is with the animals, and it's with animal energy healing. And I do, I'm a Reiki master, and I also do doula work, which is helping the animal crossover and or after they cross over, helping the guardian to deal with that grief. I also I always emphasize to guardians that Any of my readings are always done with the highest emphasis always is on the good of the animal, the highest good for the animal. And I always ask permission of an animal before I do a reading, because that honors their individual uniqueness. They are, after all, spirit beings, very, very high vibration. And I have to say, very smart. So anyway, I love working with them. And I usually first, we create an intention together of what the guardian is seeking, and ask permission of the animal. And then I help with the animal. I do grounding and clearing their chakras, and putting a pink cloud of protection and love around them before we even start the reading. And after we start the reading, we work first on the physical level, and then we go to the emotional level, and then we go to the spiritual mental level. So in all those levels, we can be doing healings and so forth. I do some medical intuition, and all of our work for everybody in the panel here is done energetically. So sometimes it's hard for a guardian because they want to bring the animal to my house, or they want me to come to their house. I'm like, no, that's not a good idea, because the animal physically, it gets upset on a doggy level or on a kitty level, and the cats duck under the bed and the dogs get hyper. And so generally, although you know, any of us, I'm sure, can do Reiki hands-on on an animal, but all of us can work long distance, because the whole idea is energy and vibration, and it's very, very fundamental to all of us on the panel here to be able to work like that without actually having the animal with our hands on. Although a lot of my references referring for my clientele are to massage therapists, acupuncturists, hydrotherapy. There are many, many really good physical help for animals that have pain or need help. So in short, I hope that you can ask the questions that you need answered tonight. All of the animals that are in spirit are easily accessed by everybody here in the panel. We can call them in and you can ask questions. And also, one other thing before I leave, I wanted to mention is that very, very often the animals that come in, the guardians are already on their spiritual path to becoming either light workers and or also psychics and workers. And so the animal then is, I would call it like, you know, witches used to have a familiar, a black cat. Their animals will often tell them that they won't say familiar, but they will tell them they're there to help their guardian on their spiritual path, so that both of them can blossom and open and become more enlightened as they share their divine path together. So with all that, have a wonderful evening. I know you're really, really going to enjoy everybody helping you out tonight. So ask your questions.
Great. Thanks so much, Donna. Let's see. I don't remember exactly if we had Carrie or Denise. We had Carrie and then Denise and then Dr. Nadine. Okay, great.
I'm next, I think. Doesn't matter though. But hi, I'm Carrie Russell, and I'm with Meridian Learning Northwest. It's my own business. And I'm an animal healer primarily, also work with people, mostly doing animal work and energy work on people and humans. Although sometimes when I do anime healing, I do get some messages that will come through. And I have, for me, one of the most beautiful stories when I got into this work, I just basically was a meditator and started finding about energy work and started taking some classes. And when my dog was very painful, he had something going on and we didn't know what it was. And I sat in the middle of my living room floor, just put my hands over him. He's just a little guy. And I said, you know, God, universe, you know, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Distinctly remember that, and had my hands on his back after the vet said it was a back issue after looking at some x-rays. And my hands moved on their own to his neck. And when that happened, I went, oh my God, what just happened? Of course. And when I went to the neurologist, because we had an appointment scheduled the next day, they said, they did an evaluation. They said, it's not his back, it's his neck. So there was my sign that I could do more than I ever thought I could do. And so lo and behold, I became an animal healer. and started that journey. And so I work on clearing energy from animals. I can tap into them really easily, and I can feel their energy and I do energy clearings. And again, like I said, once in a while messages come through, but the psychic part of me is still developing in that respect, with getting signs and signals and pictures and things that they're communicating. But I do find that I can feel their soul, just making that connection. So it's just beautiful. And I do also work with people. So I teach classes, used to be in person. Now I'm doing some online courses with Access Consciousness is some of the training I've been trained under to teach something called the bars, which is a hands-on process, and a variety of other body processes that can also be done on people and animals as well. And I'm a former school teacher, so I left that job and to do this. And I oftentimes am on at metaphysical fairs with Lorelai's events when we get back to the in-person process, and enjoying the online work when I can as well. So thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Carrie. All right, Denise.
Hi, everyone. I'm Denise Dunleavy. I'm an animal communicator, and I also do energy healings and intuitive readings for people. I am drawn towards the animal communication work, partly just because I love animals. You can see this is Shay behind me, and I have another little one on my lap here. They always come out for these events. It's like they know, they can feel the energy already. They know that they're going to come and help me. So I love having them here. And I didn't always know that I was an animal communicator. Some people say, oh, did this just happen? But I took a class and really learned how to do it. The more I practiced, the more messages I got, and people would let me know that it was correct. And I think we are more in tune with our animals than we think. Most of my clients, there are, like Donna said, they can be very intuitive, but sometimes it's really helpful to have a neutral third party to be able to interpret some of those messages and make sure that you're really understanding what you think you are. So I encourage people to try and communicate with their pets on their own. But also it can be nice to have someone from the outside that can really deliver those messages. So I feel like my service is to be able to interpret and help people understand their pets. And also it's a great way to communicate with your animal. Sometimes there are things that the animal needs to know, like if you're going to move, if you're, say, getting married or getting divorced. Anything like that, it can be great to let the pet know ahead of time, because they can often be confused or not really understand what's going on. So there are a lot of different benefits to getting an animal communication reading. I love these events because it gives you a chance to get kind of a little mini reading from several different people and get to know our different styles. And I get so excited when we all get kind of the same messages, but we interpret them a little bit different. And so I learned so much from doing this as well. But I hope that you all get a chance to ask your questions. If you don't, we all offer readings. Obviously, I'm offering a coupon code, which is in the chat. And if you do want to book individual sessions, you can reach me at intuitivedenise.com. Thanks.
Oh, and I don't think I got your coupon stuff in the chat yet. I got to get that from you still, but it will be there. That's her contact info. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, let's see. So Dr. Nadine, are you next? Maybe, I think.
Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to be here, to be in your presence, to share what we do. And when I say we, I am the voice for a vast team. And I come with some amazing angels, some amazing ascended masters, the entire animal kingdom, the elementals. And we're here to serve. We're here to walk with you, to provide compassion, to provide information, if that's what you're seeking. The specialty of my team is, yes, we do provide information, but we really specialize in healing. And when I mean that healing is sometimes the need of your animal companion is different than the need of the human. And many times the animal is actually healing the human. And so the information that they give is really for your well-being as well. They work very, very hard. But I've been, I was brought into this body with the ability to see multidimensionally and to see into the body, to be able to find out what is going wrong, out of balance, out of alignment within the physicalness of either a human or animal body. When you're 2.5 and you're walking up to somebody and helping them remove a tumor, it might be wonderful for the person that has the tumor, but as a child, that wasn't always appreciated. And so for much of my life, I hid who I am. When I got my doctorate, I decided I wasn't hiding anymore. So I'm a naturopath, which means I'm a natural doctor. I'm a holistic, everything about me is holistic. And we 100% stepped into that allness of who I am, and I embraced my team. About 2 years ago, the animal kingdom asked if I would be their voice. So I expanded my practice to incorporate the animal kingdom. And it's been an honor to hear from them, to listen to them, to listen to their wisdom. They have much wisdom to offer. They have much healing to offer. They have much truth to offer as we rebuild that trust, that bridge of trust. So if we can be of service to anyone here tonight, we stand ready and available.
That's great. Thank you, Dr. Nadine. All right. So yeah, just basically everyone, we all work with people and animals. I'm the one that works with animals the least, but yeah, everybody has it as a big part of their practice. It's a potential part of their practice. Let's see. I think all of you went through and did introductions, right? And then so I'm Lorelei Shamayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I don't primarily work with animals, but I might see things in you, the person, as you're asking about your animal. And if you show me photos of your animals, I might be able to see things in their eyes as well. So in terms of eye readings, I think that eyes reveal so much of who we are, like eyes are a window to the soul. I think that we all read eyes all the time. And we're really great at picking animals that have similar souls. We do so much better at that than we do with people often. And to give you a sense of how you see in people's eyes, see in animals' eyes all the time, think about when you've met a person with dark sunglasses and you can't see their eyes. So much is missing. And as soon as you see their eyes, so much is there. So there's just so much that we pick up very subconsciously and intuitively. I describe what I see in your eyes, your animal's eyes, with a set of archetypes that describe sort of the natural talents and the gifts that you, the person or the animal, is bringing, the things that we naturally value and contribute. Just can't help but share. Yeah, so and then there's a lot of depth of different characteristics that I share about people. I've not really experimented with sharing all those things about animals. So I'll mostly be running things tonight and might jump in and help in various ways. And I'll say when people and animals are similar, they get each other. It's very easy often. And when they're different, it can be more challenging sometimes, just like with people, when they're different, it's more challenging. And just some of the kinds of questions I can answer in terms of people are, so what's your purpose? Can answer practical questions about career path, how you might tune the work that you do or who you do your work with. I can answer questions on relationships. You can show me photos of other people in your life, and I can answer questions about them and look at the two of you together. And I also use this work for matchmaking. So in theory, I could use this to help you choose an animal for you too. So I'll give you an example of how we're often good at choosing matches in animals and how it could be a challenge or how it could help. So people have different pacings, different rhythms. Some are slow and mellow, and others are really zippy and quick and bouncing around. And dogs, for example, same thing. Some of them are kind of slow and mellow, and others are bouncing around and need a lot of exercise, right? So in action, some dogs can be quick, but they don't need a lot of exercise and movement. And some need a lot of movement and some don't. So if the person needs a lot of movement and the the animal needs a lot of movement, that's great. They can do it together. But if one needs a lot of movement and the other one doesn't, that's more of a challenge. So there are ways that I can see that energetically in the eyes and can help you find a good match, or yeah, it's part of understanding like differences. All right. All right. They're saying I'm offering special on my work today too. So 40% off, and I should put information about me in the chat as well, as we have more people joining us. And I grab my info. Here you go. And I'll go ahead and put everyone's info again in the chat all together as well. Well, let's see. So practitioners, just as you heard each other share, is there anything that occurs to you, that anything else you want to share about your practices or how you work with animals? Sometimes hearing each other, different things arise. But feel free to jump in if there's anything here that you want to share. No, that's great. All right. Well, let's see. So if you'd like to ask a question today, I should say it's free to be here and listen, right? So you get to learn from everything that we share, all the questions that people ask and all the conversations that we have. And if you'd like to ask a question of the panel, it's a small fee. It's a sliding scale of $16 to $24 or $10 for BIPOC. And you can pay by PayPal or Venmo, or I can run something on my Square. We've got one person in line that I know of right now. Let's see if there's anyone else in line already. If you'd like to ask a question, you could let us know in the chat, and then if you could go pay before you ask, that would be great. Oh, and it looks like someone else. All right, Tina is in line, and we have someone else that's in line too. Let me get names. Someone sent me a message. All right, great. Christy asked, wants to ask a question. Christy, I sent you a text back also. If you could check that, that'd be great. All right. And just take a couple of notes and then we will jump into some questions. And I got some preview I'll share just before we jump in. And if you know your question, you're welcome to write it in the chat, or I got it one by text, or or you can just come online and share online. The animal does not need to be present in the moment. It can be an animal that's passed. And someone also asked if we ask the animal for permission. So the practitioners will say, but what I've seen before is there's a way that the practitioners are looking to energetically connect with the animal first. And if the animal is not wanting this, then the connection is not going to happen. So there is a form of permission that's happening, and it's energetic. Okay, great. Well, let's see. So get my names here. Sorry, everything all at once. All right, Tina, that's right. Okay, so Christy, if you're ready, we're going to have you go in just a moment, and I can read off your question, or you can come on and speak it, either way. So let me say a couple of little pieces for setting us up first. Okay, great. So keep in mind that this is being recorded and this is going to be posted online. So if when you ask your question, if we go deeper than you want us to go here, or we start talking about other topics here that you don't want us talking about, please let us know. We're here to honor you. So please unmute and tell us, whoa, slow down, stop, or wave your hands right in the video, or chat and let us know, wait, please don't talk about that. And, right here, right now. And we will turn and change course and answer your question in a way that works for you. The other thing is that we believe everyone's intuitive, and in particular, since you've come to this event, you may know that. And so things may come through for you as we're answering, just like Carrie discovered, right, that things came through for her, right, when she was had her hands on her pet, her animal. And so we request that you let the attention stay up here on the panel tonight. That if something does come through for you, you might want to write it down. Sometimes they float pretty quickly. And if you want to, when we're done answering the person's question, you can private chat them and ask them if they'd like to know what came through for you. But please honor whatever it is they share. They might be full just from having heard from maybe 8 of us, and trust that it came through you for some reason. And I invite all of you just to be open and spacious to learn from whatever is asked and whatever's answered. And I want to share too, just my thanks and appreciation for all of you being here. All of us holding the space together allows just for a deeper, richer experience of all of us just energetically in this together. So thank you for your contributions. And I see someone else paid earlier today that I We were just talking about Cash App today on my team meeting, and we currently don't, and maybe we have to. So, but I can take payment tons of other ways, right? Venmo, PayPal, and I can run Square on my phone, and yeah, lots of things. Okay, so I've got, so it turns out actually, so Kay asked earlier today, so it's possible Kay may be first in line. Oh, my dear PayPal, that is not very quick. So Kay, you paid by PayPal?
There we go. Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm looking to see where it, if you could, let me just see. For some reason, it's not coming through. We had a funny, sometimes PayPal has just been really slow, and sometimes people spell my name differently. So I'm just going to put my phone number in the, I put my phone number in the chat. If you could just text me a screenshot of it, that would be great. And I'll get you in line right now. And we'll get started with the other few first. All right, great. Well, let's see. So Christy, so I don't know if you want me to, yeah, please read it for you. Okay, great. And yeah, all the answers you gave me are great. So this is from Christy. She asks, what crystal elixir is good for dogs' water bowl? Is it a good idea to use a crystal elixir for dogs? And Christy, if you want to ask a more specific question too, do you have one dog? Do you have multiple dogs? And is it okay if we connect in with, is it your dog or someone else's dog? Like all that matters a bit. And yeah, and I guess what's the purpose?
I would also, that's the question I had, is for what purpose?
Yeah, so there'll be different things that are useful, Christy, for different things. So you can either text me or you can write in the chat. The practitioners just need a bit more information. Like there might be something energetically that you intuit, or it could be that you've had some sort of diagnosis, or it might be more than whatever diagnosis you have too, right? We may be able to sense that. I don't have any other message yet, so we're just waiting. Okay, great. So Christy has a French Bulldog, a mix French and Boston Terrier. Heard someone say it was good to keep ticks and fleas away in the hot Louisiana climate. Oh yeah, and so practitioners, I know one of you's new. If you're ready to go, just raise your hand in the chat and call on you, and I'll know. If you have something to share too, just go ahead and jump in right now. Okay, Donna, go ahead.
I don't know anything about crystal elixir, so I can't comment on it. But I would say that that it would be, to me, it would be really important that you offer the dog, if you're going to offer that to them, that you also offer them a bowl of water that is clear and has nothing in it, so that the animal has the choice of what they would like. But maybe some of the other practitioners know more about this.
Oh, and I want to clarify too, there are two dogs. There's one French Bulldog and one that's a mix of French and Boston Terrier. So two different dogs. Yeah, Donna, that's great. Yeah, practitioners, anyone else that wants to share? Yeah, go ahead. You're muted still though.
No, I was talking to myself, so.
Oh, no, sorry. Dr. Nadine, I think, wants to jump in first, and then Susie, and then Cindy.
You go.
That's great.
You go.
So there's a couple things here. What I heard the question say was, somebody told me. Somebody told me. And we're all intuitive. And the dogs know more than anybody else what they need. So if you have the elixir, put it on your heart first with them in mind and ask the question, is this for the highest good and greatest joy for, and then name out the dog specifically, because it may be good for one, it may not be good for both. But here's the deal is when you're putting the object, here's awesome crystal. So I'm going to take this crystal, I'm going to put it on my heart, I'm going to ask the question, always, is this for the highest good, greatest joy? Or is it for this particular ailment? If your body moves forward, it's a yes. If your body moves backwards, it's a no. If your body moves side to side, it needs more information. So one of the things when you first talked about crystal elixirs, there's a yes or no. And what I'm getting, the first thing is that one of the dogs would like it. The other one was an absolute no, I want nothing to do with this. So a different idea might be to see what kind of crystals was in the elixir, put the crystals around the house so the dog has the choice of coming and getting what it needs from the crystals. But the biggest thing I'm noticing here is that it would be really, there's a word here in English that's not making sense to me. Viable, behooves you, would be of great joy to take the crystal and clean it under the full moon. So really cleanse the crystals monthly to offer it to the animals. But I'm being told is that above and beyond the crystal elixir, there is a homeopathic called Rescue Remedy for Pets. And when you use Rescue Remedy for Pets, it has no alcohol in it, and it will go specifically into the cells and shift what needs to be shifting. And that you can put directly in the water, and they all beings can receive the higher vibration that's within. Specifically, what I'm hearing is the Star of Bethlehem that's within the Rescue Remedy for Pets. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Also, there was another comment too of maybe the crystal that was recommended was amethyst. And Dr. Nadine, your advice is great for all kinds of things. So amethyst being one option. And then also one of the practitioners asked if we could get the names of pets. So when you ask questions, if you could give us the name too, that would be great. And maybe I'll just say this as a preventative too. So some practitioners like to see photos and some don't. So please don't show photos until we check in with practitioners first. And oh, okay, yeah. So we've got names, Chino and Dax. And the Chino maybe is the particular question. Okay, great. All right, let's see. So we had, was it Susie and Cindy, or now just Cindy's in line? Go ahead.
Okay. Hi. All right. So just in general, the first mineral that showed up for you actually is rose quartz. But I have a question for you. Do you even know how to make a gem elixir properly? Christy?
Christy's communicating by text, so it might be in the chat or it might be to me. She was going to look it up.
Okay, because there's a specific way of making them so that they're properly done, okay? And so the other mineral that came up for you in particular was kyanite, okay? So rose quartz is to open up the love energy, and that's always a good one. Okay, but I'm talking for you, okay, specifically. Kyanite helps you remove any kind of negative entities or energies around you. It never needs to be cleared, okay? But I agree with Dr. Nadine that Rescue Remedy is a really good remedy in general, and you would also benefit from it. And so for if I'm looking just at Rescue Remedy, Chino would like it, and maybe only 2 drops, let me see, 2 or 3 drops in the water, okay? And your other dog really doesn't care for it. So separate the waters as previously discussed by the others people on the panel here. And always clean water, you know, for the animals, always a clean dish, okay? That's really imperative, all right? Because you want them to be able to have the best of the best, just like you do. And elixirs are very interesting, you know, so I applaud you that you want to learn more about them, and there's a wealth of information about that. I do work with the nature spirits, so the information that I'm sharing with you is coming from them, okay? And so, but in particular, kyanite for you is a good one. It'll help with the getting clarity and not being confused about what you're receiving. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks so much. Oh, so thanks so much to everybody. All right. All right, let's see. So any other practitioners want to share with Sherry? I can't see everyone, so. Was that Carolyn waving her hand?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, great.
Hi, Christy. Thank you for your question. Another way of approaching this, you, I think, asked about this was some sort of protection against some ticks or something. What did you say from just from the Louisiana climate and things? There are other ways of protecting as well. One of the things I do in my practice and with my healing is strengthening the Wei Qi and the protective layer around the animals, which helps protect them from these outside influences like the climate, like emotions, like EMFs, and other physical items. And if the body is strong and their protection is strong, then that adds another layer of protection from these things, as well as what was already discussed. Those are two different ways of approaching the same subject matter. So that is my 2 cents worth.
All right, great. And anyone else? By the way, practitioners, if you're not familiar with raising the hand in the Zoom, if you go to the participants panel, there used to be a spot at the bottom where you could raise hand, and they've moved it, and it's now in the bottom of the main screen under reactions. So when you all can use that, that'll help me, because I can't see where you all are, and then I don't know who's in line, and I want to include you all. All right, great. Dr. Nadine, go ahead and, or maybe you're practicing. All right, great. All right, cool. All right, great. Anyone else have anything else for Christy? All right, great. Thanks so much. All right, I think we are about to move on to our next question. All right, so let's see. So, oops, I think Tina is next. All right, yeah, so Tina, let's see.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's optional. If you want to put on your video, you don't have to.
Okay. I don't know. I moved my phone. Oh, there I am. To a quieter place instead of my computer. So my question is, I've always had animals in my life, and over the last couple of years, I've had a couple animals cross over. One in particular was like my soul mate dog, and she passed over, and we are I'm looking at getting another another animal or multiple animals. And so I was just wondering if anybody has any information that comes to them. I know Donna had talked about Jeebus, my dog that passed over, gave me some messages from her, and just kind of wanted to know. I don't know exactly how to form it, but if I'm in the right path, looking at the right path for another animal or multiple animals, like specifically a cat and a dog.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Tina. All right, practitioners. All right, Carolyn's ready. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Hi, Tina. Thank you for your question. It's nice to see you here. One way of approaching this is to put out to the universe to ask them, you want to bring in a dog and or a cat, which if you want one or both, um, with what, you know, kind of attributes, if you have something specific you're looking for, if you have a specific breed, but be very clear about, what you're looking for, put it out there, and allow the universe to bring you the right animal. The animals I have always come in contact with, they find their person, they find their guardian. And we can't always know which is the right one, but they know which is the right person for them. So if you are open and clear that you are looking and you have a certain kind of, general framework of what you're looking for, I think you can draw them to you when the time is right. And again, I think it was Nadine said, for the best and highest good of both you and that animal coming in. And then this way you can start that process and let the universe bring them into you.
Thank you. I have a particular dog in mind right now.
Okay, great.
I want to make sure some validation that it's the right one.
If it's in your best and highest good, it will be.
So Tina, this is Nadine, and I'm going to piggyback on what Carolyn said, but there's another piece here. And we have shifted into the Aquarian age. And what that means is we are creating our next step. So what I'm being told is ask your question in a different way. Okay, so English is really difficult when you're being filmed. How they're wording this is, what do you want to accomplish? What are you personally working on? What do you want to accomplish with this companion that's coming in? And are you wanting them to, quote, be pets? Or are you wanting this amazing new relationship we have with the animal kingdom? Do you want them to be co-creators with you as you step forward into the rest of your next steps in life? So the dog that you were talking about before, you guys had an agreement, and that soul can come back in and work with you, but you have to be really clear about what you are wanting to create and how you are wanting to, here's an example. I rescued an African gray. Just in a couple of days, it'll be a year. I was presented with many, many different birds. What I was specifically looking for is somebody, a bird that wanted to work in my practice with me, who wanted to explore their own gifts as a healer, who wanted to be a co-creator in the healing practice with me. And boom, I walked into a room and there she was. So I'm being told for you to, how do you want the question to be asked? What are the skill set that you want to work on? How do you want to walk forward? Would you like companions that bring joy and harmony, and they're very chatty? Or are you looking for an animal that is, pardon this language, but broken and needs to be fixed? Because if you're looking for something that's broken and needing to be fixed, it's the wrong connection for where you want to step forward in your own personal life. Is that making any sense?
Yeah, complete sense. Because we got a 4-year-old and we need to have a dog that's going to bring joy into our lives.
And laughter and play.
Exactly.
And silliness, right? And silliness. And here's the other thing I'm being shown is that allows you personally to be in present time, present moment, to where whatever you stepped out of, it's like the dog and the cat and the child all at the same time. You are able to stop in that moment and burst out laughing. And in that moment, you let go of whatever you were holding on to.
Exactly.
Right. And the other thing I'm being shown is that the dog cat combo, they've worked together multiple times in multiple lives. And so they're already a team, and they're just looking for the third part, which is you, the tripod. Is just they're waiting for you to ask the right question.
Okay.
And with that, I'm complete.
Thank you.
I just want to piggyback off of the asking the right question thing, because when you said you had a dog in mind, I feel like you already know the answer to the question. Like, you were asking us, should I get another pet or two? And I think you already know. I think there's something that you're blocking, like you're afraid of something, or I just feel like the ego or something is getting in your head and getting in the way of that. And so my suggestion would be to trust your intuition and, like you say, ask these questions. I definitely see you with animals. So I think that that's going to be important for you. I think that's just part of your journey. I'm actually getting a lot of sadness from you, and I don't know if that is, it might almost be related to the pet that you lost, that you're still holding on something with that. And I think that having these animals in your life will bring so much joy, and you deserve that. And so I would just use your intuition, and like Dr. Nadine said, ask those questions when you're picking out which one.
Great, thanks, Denise. All right, who else?
Oh, and by the way, the cat's going to dominate the house. Cat
I already knew that.
power!
Yes.
Cat
It's gonna be the
power!
boss.
Carrie, go ahead.
Yeah, right after when you're starting to ask your question, you mentioned your dog that had passed, and your dog is, can you say the name again?
Jeebus.
Jeebus? Okay. I just got, I think it was Jeebus, but I'm not positive, but I got a woo, woo, woo. Like, they were so excited that it's like, yeah, we are, please, 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 please. So I'm not, maybe someone else can answer who that was, but I got a very distinct celebration from the other side. So I just wanted to pass that along.
Great, thank you. All right, Cindy.
Okay, I'm going to be a little different than everybody else, but I tuned into your animal on the other side, and it says, it's two cats. Oh my God, it's two cats. And, but definitely, like all of us have suggested, go into your meditation time, okay, and ask that the highest and best align with you at this time, moving forward into your new spiritual gifts with animals. Because when I look at what's coming through for you, you kind of want a soulmate in these animals, okay? You know, and I really like the fact that you're willing to receive the animal's love. There's so many animals out there that would love to partner with you. And so just take the time, take a breath, you know, to really go deep within you and ask, you know, who is best for me and how do we work together going forward in 2021 and for the rest of their lives? Who are you here to help in the animal kingdom, and who are you here to work with? Because I think you probably know that you are good with your intuition when it comes to animals, and you love people as well. So I know you have a huge heart, okay? And there's lots of love, you know, lots of love. And maybe you'll get one at a time. You don't have to have both animals at once, plus kids. Oh my God. Anyway, so just let it happen naturally. And, you know, don't forget the no-kill shelters, please. You know, go and see who comes to you. See who you resonate with. But before you go there, meditate and ask, you know, that whatever animal can, you know, work with you and bring joy into the world and to your family, to the community, and to help you grow as a soul. You have a soul contract with the animal kingdom. I know it. So that's what's coming through.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll jump in just briefly and share. Can you just turn your eyes upwards a little bit towards the top of your device? Just a little bit? Yeah, it's okay, great, you can go back. Yeah, so I totally agree with what everyone's saying with your eyes too. So your first talent, people have 3, and the first one is called Server. It's about love and intimacy and deep connection, and people with Server connect deeply with people and animals. So yeah, it seems like your life purpose is teaching people and animals about love, or like being deeply in intimacy with people and animals in a way that demonstrates it for others, so everyone can connect more, open their hearts, etc. So yeah, it's great. Cool. All right, practitioners, anything else that you want to share with Tina before we go on? All right, great. Thanks so much for your question, Tina. Beautiful.
Thank you, everybody.
And I guess, yeah, as long as you, to me, as long as you feel a deep heart connection with the animal, and maybe I'll say also, some of the lessons of having this talent are that one can get caught wanting to take care of everyone. You know, it can be save everyone. And so it's so important that you love and care for and honor you. That's really the big lesson of having this talent, because when you love and care for and honor you, you have so much more abundant love for everyone. So feeling a deep heart connection with those animals, and also really feeling that it serves you, right? That you feel energized in you as you're with them. That's part of how you know that it's a good match.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Very welcome. All right, great. So we've got a few more people in line. So we've got Kay, ZB, Latifa, possibly Deborah and Laura in line. So let's see, Kay is next.
Hi. Hi. My question is, I had a dog that I had to put down, and he had some issues, and I was just wondering why these issues came up, and does he hold me responsible for his passing? I guess that's what I want to know. And I have a picture of him. He's an Australian Shepherd, and his name was Cooper.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm sorry, what did you say about his passing? Or
he had some issues that I had to put him down.
And how recently was that?
2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for asking and sharing him with us. And I guess, are you asking just any messages from him about that, or just anything that anyone feels or sees about that?
Yes, because I'm still, after 2 years, still very sad, because I don't understand why this all came about when he was so loved.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we've got some answers coming in. We've got Susie and then Donna.
Hey, first and foremost, you're not responsible. He does not hold you in blame in any way for what did. You did what you thought was best, and it actually was best for him. I feel that he is saying, you know, he's actually sad that you feel sad about it. And so holding him in your heart and remembering those moments of joy and happiness that you spent with him is what's going to help him feel less bad about feeling bad. There's just a whole lot of sadness going on here, and it's not, I'm not going to say it's not necessary, because we all grieve in our own way, but he does not hold you to blame in any way. It was what needed to happen, and that was part of his life contract. We all have soul contracts, and we all have life contracts, and so you helped him fulfill his, and now he's coming back around in spirit to help you move forward so that you can have that full experience in life and see all of that. So no, he loves you, and I feel like, did he ever sit by your head?
When we were in bed, yes.
Okay, because that's where I'm seeing him, is just all snuggled up on your head. And he's just like, that's where I'm at. Just reaching over and patting him, and that will be a way to convey that love that you two had for each other. So he thanks you. Thanks you so
Okay.
much for giving him the good life. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Donna.
Could you tell me how old he was when he crossed?
5 years old.
5?
Yes. I had him 5 years.
And how you had him 5 years and he was 5 years when he passed?
Yes. I got him when he was 7 weeks old.
Okay. Yeah. And what color was he?
He was an Aussie, orange, black, and brown and white. Australian Shepherd.
I'm just asking him permission right now. Just a second.
Thank you.
What he's saying is his passing had nothing to do with you. I'm getting something about genetics or inbreeding or maybe a birth defect that was missed. But the reason that he passed early was because of that. He's going quote unquote defect I had. He said it really wasn't anything that you or the vet could have detected. He said it was, and he chose. He said he wants you to fully understand that he chose to come this time so that he could experience that crossing over early rather than as an old dog.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he's showing me he said he's so sorry that you're still sad, but he must have been just quite full of fun and joy. And he's saying that if you would honor him, you would honor him. And please to he's showing me like could you make him an album? He's showing me an album, and in the album is maybe his pictures, but also some of your friends writing in on the album, like what was his favorite food, what was the thing that they remembered best about him when he was still with you, happy things that you remember about him, that sort of thing. And then he's asking also that that you would light him a white candle, okay? And he wants a cupcake. I am seeing chocolate with a white frosting, and there's a little thing on top. I don't know if it's a little orange pumpkin or something on top that's orange. I don't know if you gave him cupcakes before, but anyway, that's what he's asking. So he's doing it in a playful way so that you recognize that his spirit is still playful and still happy. And even though he understands that you miss him, he's asking you to do that honoring. And in so doing, that will relieve your grieving somewhat. Okay. And I'm sorry because I know how hard it is. I've had animals cross that, even to this day, 20 years later, you still pop up in your mind and the heart gets heavy. But that's his message for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dr. Nadine.
B. Oops.
Hi, Kay. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. That's my new puppy.
So my team's all about healing, and I agree with what Dr. Donna said about the defect, if you would, a mutation. There was a couple genes that were split, and this able to choose. But there's a lesson in this as well. And one of the lessons here that I'm being shown is right now on our planet, would you agree that there's some energy that's a little wonky right now on the planet? And with that mutation, anything that was out of balance would have been increased into his physical body,
Okay.
like a loudspeaker, and the vibration would have been so intolerable in his body that he would have been in massive amount of pain. And then you would be dealing with a lot of different kinds of emotions and different choices. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Okay,
Actually.
so rather than turning the volume on full blast and having all of that distorted energy moving through his body, he chose out. If that's a good way of saying it. All right.
Yes.
What is still showing up though is that there's a cord from your heart to his heart. While that's a lovely cord to have, you are not moving forward. You see that?
Yep.
Okay. So, you know, Dr. Donna gave you some really wonderful suggestions of celebrating him. If you are open to it, I'd like to share a technique that you can do. And I can either share it with you now or I can share it with you later, but a technique that you can do after you celebrate him that allows you to disconnect and have your energy for you and allow his energy to be where he is.
Okay.
So let me know if you would like that now or if you would like me to share that with you at another time.
Now would be fine. I'll write it down.
So get yourself a little pencil, but I'm going to walk you through it now. And anybody else who's listening, if you would like to disconnect, or for anybody who's listening, if you have an animal who's crossed over and they're still part of the pack, the team at the house, you may want to go through this process with all the other animals, right? So what you want to do is just visualize that you have a cord from your heart to your baby's heart. And you said his name is Cooper, so a cord from Kay to Cooper. Again, this is after you've done your celebration and the candle and the cupcake and all of the joy and the fun and the play and the ooh. But what you want to do is take your non-dominant hand. So my dominant hand is right. I'm going to take my non-dominant hand. I'm simply going to sever that cord. I'm going to give all of Cooper's energy back to Cooper. And I'm going to pull all my energy back to myself. So that you're bringing you back home. And you're allowing his energy to be back home for him. So he can go on to his next step. But more importantly, right here, this is about you. And there's other people around you that you can share this with, because there's people that are around you that are going through grief, and that you will be able to share this tool with them, regardless of what they're grieving over, right? It could be a loss of a job. It could be a loss of a friend. It could be a loss of a hug, you know, communicating with people. Doesn't matter what the loss is. It's severing that, giving the energy back, pulling your energy back to you, bringing you back home to you. Okay. And I hear another dog there. And if there's a cat, it doesn't matter. If there's other animals, other members of the family who are part of this pack, share this with them, allow them to also celebrate and disconnect.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. I want to mention too that this is being recorded and we're going to be putting it up on YouTube, so you can go back and watch this as well. Cindy,
Nice.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
First of all, I totally want to show gratitude to Dr. Nadine for sharing with everybody the experience that she just
I did. I spread it. He played.
good. And for all of you out there, if you still have the ashes from your beloved pets, they're not completely free to go on to their journey. So I highly recommend that you sprinkle them back to the earth in any fashion that honors them as well. And you already know that what you did was for the highest and best, okay?
Yes.
And so the other thing that I'm going to offer you is please take time to forgive yourself for feeling any guilt, okay, around this, you know, forgive yourself for any pets that have gone to the other side that you feel like you've not been able to forgive yourself for, okay?
Okay.
It's really, really important, okay? And then, you know, you are being helped all the time by your spirit animals, okay? And to call on their help, all right? And perhaps you want to work more with some of the totem animals that show up for you. I don't know if you're familiar with working with totem animals, but I think there's a great wisdom in you that's coming through, and that this particular beloved pet is going to teach you that. How to call in animals to work with and how to help people like the other practitioners I've already talked about. And so that's going to bring you great joy as you move forward, because this is part of your talents in this lifetime to be able to do that.
Thank you.
And keep a journal on how this is, how you're working through this. And, just know that every day you're awakening to the beautiful soul that you are and connecting with the realms that you're supposed to connect with. And your beloved Cooper will be there to be one of your guides, and ask Cooper for messages. And then the first thought back will be Cooper's answer to you. Trust it. And,
Okay.
and you know, have some playtime and know that this is a process that you're learning how to work with the other side, and it's a gift.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carolyn, go ahead.
Hi, Kay.
Hi.
I just want to say I agree with everything everybody said. It was like, oh yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. My little contribution to this is it all comes back to it's all about love. This animal loved you and was sharing that love with you and gave you this experience to learn in love. And as we know, love is not always free of pain, but he is guiding you and helping you through this journey. And if you can open up to that bigger love and this experience that you have had with him, let him go, set him free, set yourself free, then you are better able to go to the next level with this for your next animal, because you have one right there at your feet.
Right.
Who's talking to you through this whole call. It's like, what about me? What about me? Focus on him. He's here. Cooper's still there. He could be the guide and the support now. But there's so many other animals out there that you can continue to help and share your love and support with. And Cooper will be there to guide you and help you if you need to. Again, ask, they're more than willing to help if we just ask. And I agree. Yeah, definitely cutting those cords is really important so that you can free up that energy for you and for them, and you can move forward. And there's so much there for you to offer. And just remember your heart and that love that you're coming from. So thank you.
Thank you.
That's heavy. Yeah, anything else to share with Kay?
If I could just add one thing, I don't want to go on too long, but I definitely I saw him shaking his head when you were asking if there was anything that you could have done, or, because I know you're feeling bad about that. But the message I got was that there was part of the timing of that was because there was something you were able to do that you wouldn't have done otherwise. And I'm feeling like it was like taking a trip, or maybe a job where you were away from home for a while. So I feel like there was, he's saying there were some good things that came out of it. And even though that may be hard for you to see, but that, so I'm feeling like there was something that you were able to do that you wouldn't have if you were busy taking care of him or something like that. So I just wanted to throw that
Okay.
out there. It may not mean anything now. Maybe it'll come to you, but he definitely does not hold you responsible for anything.
Great. Great. Thank you. Good.
Yeah. All right, practitioners, anything else?
I'm good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kay.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. We've got ZB next. And ZB, I've got the name of your animal and the age and things like that, but did you want to come on?
Yes, my last year I had to let my dog go because I wasn't taking care of him, and I was having some mental illness issues, and I was struggling, and I keep thinking about him, and I feel like I did. I just want to know if anybody can connect and see where he's at, if he's okay, and if I need to seek to get him back. He is adopted out, but the adoption agency, they don't give any information out afterwards, and I just want to see what comes up.
Great, and I know you gave me his name. Did you say his name?
Yeah, his name is Max, Australian Shepherd, dark color, tricolor, big dog, very smart, 12 years or 13, one or the other, and Nashville, Tennessee.
By the way, just as they're checking in, I can share that in your eyes, one of your natural talents is called Priest or Priestess. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation. It's particularly about emotions. And I'm suspecting that you might have it where you tend to direct a lot of the energy inwards. So just part of your life lessons are learning to not be hard on yourself. It just looks like you can be harder on yourself than you are other people. Does that?
Yeah, it's been a struggle, and I've learning not to be so giving with my energy, and learning to be more of a more have more boundaries, healthy boundaries. Yeah, it's been a struggle. So.
Yeah, and I mentioned that too, of just anything that has to do with your dog, about that, and just knowing that you're good. Part of the lesson is just knowing that you're good and that your intention is good, and like all that you've done, right? You've always done the best that you can. Yeah.
Can anybody connect to see how he is doing, and if he has anything to say? I think he's still alive, but I just want to see if anybody gets anything on him.
Great. Okay, let's see. So we've got Susie and then Dr. Nadine.
So the short answer I have for you is that the dog came along to help you understand the importance of taking care of yourself. There is no blame there. He understands what had to happen because he came along to point out that you're important and that he understands how important you are to the world itself. I'm seeing that he's there, but I'm not seeing very much deeper into that. He really wanted to push you to the fore so that we could see that you took that step. You took the step because you had to take care of yourself. He can't emphasize that enough. She needs to take care of herself so that we can meet up at another time, not necessarily right away, but at another time. So he did this for you. That's what I got.
And maybe just before Dr. Nadine goes, if I can share the dog that I have on camera. So he's been with me just about 3 weeks, and I have him because someone else couldn't take care of him. And so I'm blessed to be with him now. And he's not really asked to be on a panel before, but he sort of asked to come be with me tonight. So yeah, so that's why he's here. So just connecting with, with Max too, that Max might be really happy, and he's on his journey. Hey, Dr. Nadine.
Hi, ZB. Two things, actually. I heard, I must have hit Siri. Siri's going to answer this question for you. That might be entertaining. Two things. What I heard you ask was, should I go look for Max and bring him back? And that he's being worked. And what I mean by that is, in the environment that he's at right now, he is being given a job to do and he's fulfilling the job. And then he's being given a job to do and he's fulfilling the job. So he's enjoying that. So to answer the first question, should I bring him back? It would not be in his best interest and it would not be in your best interest, if that answers that question. The second part is that, again, we all have gifts. And there's a sense of being able to talk telepathically. And this would be a really fun time for you to start talking to him, to any animal, and to simply say hello. Hello, Max, and hear his hello back. Connect to him right in the center of your brain in the pineal. Just connect to him. But practice on the animals in your neighborhood. So if you see a squirrel outside, it's just kind of fun to practice and, saying, hey to the little squirrel, hear his hello. Hello, duck, hear the hello back. Hello, moose, deer, antelope, whoever's outside of where you're living, hear their hello.
Apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
That's Siri. Thank you, Siri. But it's a wonderful part for you. Stop laughing, Susie.
But Siri's got quite an attitude saying
she does, doesn't she?
She couldn't hear you. Golly.
She couldn't hear me. She couldn't answer the question. It's like, but ZB, see, it's like that. It's not that whole, I know it's my phone, but that's kind of what it's like, is talking telepathically. I can't hear you. What was your question? So have fun with it. And I really believe in practicing when it doesn't count. And what I mean by that is, like I said, go outside, say hello to the squirrel, say hello to the birds. Because then there's going to come a time when you really, 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 really want that communication. You've practiced opening that bridge back and forth, back and forth. And then when you really want that, and this goes for all who are listening, it's not the animals who don't want to communicate with us. They really do. They have so much wisdom to share with us. They're waiting for the human to say hello, to see them, and to be open, to be quiet, and to receive the message coming back. And you had mentioned that there was some things you're working through, and how wonderful to open up to the animal kingdom and ask an animal that's very masterful with that same issue, and what wisdom they would like to share with you about that piece of information. And if that doesn't make sense, come back on and I'll go into more. But I think I've given enough that'll give you a place to start.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Nadine. Got Carolyn in line next.
Hi, ZB. Max was telling me that he came in to help you and he was assisting you, and then you were assisting him to help him move on to where he is now. But he says there are other animals out there that you are more suited to work with at this time, not necessarily him. So as Dr. Nadine was saying, he has a job right now, but you can take what you learned from him and what he gave you and help put that into another animal that probably could use you more now than he can at this time. So when you're ready, and if you feel like you want another animal, to kind of connect with what it is that you can offer and how you can contribute to another animal's life out there that needs you specifically at this time. And he's very grateful for what you gave to him and what you did for him. and you always have a place in his heart. So for you not to feel bad about that at all. And good luck on your journey forward. So I hope that helps.
Donna, go ahead.
Hi. What I, this is just a side kind of funny, but what I got was, he wants you to know he put on some weight. He said he's pretty chunky now. I don't know what that means, but what he asked me was to tell you, or he wants to thank you. This is his words. He wants to thank you. He wants to honor you for giving him the good life that he had with you for all the time that he was with you. And he's asking now, could you please reciprocate and thank him and honor him for being with you? And in that way, you kind of come full circle of understanding that you had a divine path. It wasn't for a long time. It was for the time that you contracted before you both came back from the spiritual into this life. And so you contracted for that particular amount of time, and you contracted to do the experiences that you both shared. So he would just like you to know that everything is fine, and he is, he still comes around and checks on you. I see him up on the bed when you're sleeping, and he's staring right in your face like, oh yeah, she's in good shape now. So he wants you to know that he's still around you, comes to visit, make sure you're okay.
All right, practitioners, anything else for ZB? All right, thanks so much, ZB, for sharing Max with us, sharing your story of Max.
Thank you guys so much. It helps so much to know where he's at and what he's doing. It all makes sense. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And thank you so much for being here and contributing. It's part of how we can keep doing this for more and more people. All right, Latifa, you're next. Let's see where Latifa is.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So my question was, my grandparents, they had a dog. I think it died about a half a year ago. His name is Prince. And
So his name again?
Prince.
Okay. Could you spell it? Prince. Okay, Prince. Anissa got it.
Yeah. And I wanted to know if he was okay, because the day that he died, my papa made him a new house for him to live in, and I kind of feel like he probably felt like he was about to pass, and I just wanted to know if he loved us, because he kind of went into the house that my papa made for him, and he kind of like just laid down and died peacefully. So I want to know if he's okay and all of that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And if you have more that you want to share or more that you want to ask as we're answering, feel free to do that. That's okay.
And also it's about another animal that passed away. Her name was Fancy. And I wanna know, she died from, I'm not sure how she died. But she was picking through her food a lot, and she wouldn't eat the food that we gave her. And I think that's how she died, because of starvation. And I want to know, like, did she love us too or anything? Or was she sick or something? Because how she slept, I don't think birds are supposed to sleep with their necks like all the way in the back in their fur. And I just wanted to know if anything was wrong with her.
Yeah. Thank you for your questions. Yeah, so it's Fancy and Prince. Those are their two names.
Prince is a dog. I think he was a German mixed with something else. He was really big. He was a really big dog, so probably like one of those mixed. And her Fancy was yeah, a parakeet, I think. A cockatiel, I mean.
Okay. Okay, great. Great. All right, let's see. Practitioners, yeah. So let's see who's getting ready. By the way, mine is falling asleep here while you're asking. All right, Carolyn's ready. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Hi, Latifa. Thank you so much for your questions. You're such a brave girl. Prince came in and I think I was getting that he was kind of knew he was going and had to go, and your father made him this house, and it gave him a place where he could go and pass in peace. And he was just so honored by that, and it gave him comfort and a place to go that was his. And so that was why he waited until the house was built for him. He didn't he loved you guys, of course, very, very much. And he couldn't, he just, his body wasn't able to keep going at that point. And he definitely had some issues going on that were just, it wasn't going to get any better. And he kind of was holding on as long as he could, but he had to go. So having this house really gave him a place and gave him permission to go freely. So you don't have to worry. He loved you guys. He's still around you. And Latif, I see him around you, and he's still there kind of protecting you. So, you can always call on him and ask for him, and he'll always be there for you. Or if you have a question, or maybe even play, but he's around. So don't be afraid to ask for his help and guidance. Okay, he can be on your little angel team up there. And I'll let somebody else answer about Fancy, but I wanted to tell you about Prince. So bless you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. All right, we've got Susie in line and then Denise.
Hey, Latifa. Just to continue on with what Carolyn was saying, Prince was so happy to know that even though everybody knew he wasn't going to stay around, you still put that time and effort and all the love into the house for him so that he could, in fact, be happy and know that he was cared for no matter what happened. And yeah, he is still there. He is going to, I get the feeling, did he hit up against your leg when he was walking, just to let you know? Like hit you in the knee or something? Was he that big? Like knock around on your knee? Because that's what it feels like he's doing as he walks with you.
When he walks, he can right next to you. Did he bump you a lot when walking? Well, he would twirl around and get us stuck in the chain.
He would wrap his chain around their legs so they couldn't.
Oh, okay. Because Yeah, he knows that was a game, but he does hang out with you all the time. He likes to lay down next to you. You didn't let him stay in your bed, did he? Did you? Because he now crawls up next to you in your bed and nestles with you at night, so you two can have dream time games. He loves playing with you during dream time. And then with Fancy, it feels like, yeah, she knew she was loved and she loved you all right back. And it felt like she had a gastric, like a stomach problem that I don't think it was a question of the food. She just, her stomach wasn't right. And it would have taken a whole lot to get that fixed. And with the bird, you have to balance, but you all wouldn't have known about it because she was just, no, I can't, no. Feels like it was more up in, I don't know, do birds have tracheas? I don't know bird anatomy, but it was closer up here in her throat and things would get stuck and she couldn't crunch things down. But that wasn't anything you could have fixed. Okay, she felt loved for you. And the fact that you were asking about her makes her feel so much happier. And in fact, when you look up and see birds in the sky, that's her. She wants to let you know she's still around. They're both still around. You've got a whole bunch of pets around you, pets that you've had not in this lifetime, but in previous ones, and pets that you will have. You are one of those wonderful animal persons who will draw animals to you. So when you don't think so?
To be a veterinarian. So I think you're speaking to her calling that she has already realized. So
Excellent. Excellent. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of like Dr. Doodle, where you're gonna be able to see a dog come in and they'll all talk to you and you'll talk to them and people will walk in on you talking to them and you'll go, what? Can't you understand them? That sort of thing. It sounds like it's a wonderful thing for you to do because you will be that connection between animals and people, and you will be able to explain to people, this is how you get to treat your animal. This is how you need to treat your animal. You're going to be like these other folks up here, like Dr. Nadine and Carrie and Dr. Donna and Cindy and Carolyn and Denise. You're going to be way you're going to be way up there. And I am so happy you asked the questions and they are so happy you did too. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Great. And Susie, I just wanted you to know too, Dr. Nadine was writing in the chat, maybe an impacted crop, that's the part of the bird anatomy, part of the stomach.
Okay.
All right. We've got.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Nadine. That's awesome.
We've got Denise, then Donna, then Cindy.
Well, now I feel like I'm just kind of reiterating what they said, but I think Prince is going to be like your guardian angel. I think that he's going to protect you from anything bad that comes up, that he's going to be there. And I really think that he was waiting for the house to be finished. He knew that it was for him, and he wasn't going to be able to live forever. I think he probably knew, but he was waiting, and he was so excited about that. I feel like he's also saying that he's really glad that he got to use it, but also that he would like someone else to get to use it too. I don't know if you guys will donate it or get another dog, but I think he doesn't want it to go to waste because he thinks it's such a great little house. And I wanted to say too, I thought the same thing about Fancy, that she was sick and there wasn't anything that you could have done, but she loved you very much too. And I see her interacting by almost like dancing. Like I see her coming up to the side of the cage and like dancing or like hopping around. That was her way of like interacting and letting you know that she was looking for you and paying attention to you. So and I am getting too that they're really excited that they got to be here with all of us today. And I agree with Susie. I would you can talk to them too. They're an energy around us. So keep talking to them.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Denise, we've got Donna and then Cindy. Donna, you might be muted.
Is Denise before me, or is it my turn?
No, she already went. Go ahead.
Okay. Could you tell me, did you sing a lot? Do you sing in your house? Do you sing with your mom? Does everybody sing together? Do you like sing and dance, or just sing? Yeah, because what Fancy is showing me that she was singing along with you, and she still is. Every time you guys break out into a song, she's right there. She's on your shoulder. She's on top of your head, and she's just enjoying the sound of the music and hearing your voice again. So know that she's with you all the time, even when you're having a joyful time singing. Okay.
Go to bed.
Thank you. She said that I didn't get as much time with Fancy and Prince as she did because they lived with my parents, but she visited them a lot. And she said that she specifically would sing and dance in front of Fancy and talk to her. So
yeah,
when someone's turning, she's like, oh, I did sing. So just tell me like what? So yeah.
And thank you for doing that for Fancy, because that just shows how much you're attached to the animals, and you're going to grow up to be pretty much an animal person. I can see that.
Great. Thanks, Donna. All right. We've got Cindy and then Carrie.
Okay, Latifa, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for being on the planet right now and to have the vision that you have working with animals, because I know you're dreaming your future right now. Okay, you're very powerful. So what I'm going to tell you is a little bit of what we call past lives. Okay, so before I do that, I just want to give you a couple messages from your animals. All right. So Prince just says, I'll always be there to protect you. So if you ever are afraid, just call on Prince and he'll be right there. And he'll actually kind of like almost stand up and hover over you to protect you as a spirit. Okay. And the cockatiel, says, I had a very good life. I did. The household was very busy. Yeah. And also Fancy says, I wish I could fly more. So did you allow Fancy to fly in the house?
No, we never really. He did get out sometimes.
Yeah, because he's enjoying flying now. Okay. So I don't know if you know about past lives, but one of your spirit animals is leopard. Okay. And so I don't know if you're attracted to leopard prints, leopard clothing, but when you put the leopard on, in terms of fabrics and things like that, it really makes you be powerful. Okay. Do you have leopard headband right now?
It's zebra print. Well, it's
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a zebra.
It's the zebra colors.
It's zebra colors, but it's leopard style.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so leopard is a very powerful animal, and I'd like you to look that up on the internet and kind of get more familiar with leopard and the cultures that work with leopard, okay, especially around Central America. And so you've made a pledge actually to work with the animal kingdom as a vet, okay, and you're here to help people understand the death process. Okay, in terms of being able to say goodbye to their animals and to have a good life and know that their animals are always going to be with them. So you're learning this at a very young age. How old are you?
13.
There you go. Just watch what happens. You'll probably be able to have dreams with animals, and they'll take you places. I'd like you to journal that, make drawings, and really listen to these animals that want to be your guides, because you've worked with these animals before. Okay. Now, there's also animals that come from the stars. And I know that you're part of the destiny of the future of veterinary medicine. And you have wings yourself, okay? I want you to use your wings and fly and teach others what you know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see, Carrie is next.
Yeah, I'm kind of repeating a little bit, but it's so nice when you get validation when you hear multiple people saying the same thing. And the first thing that happened when Susie was talking about your path being with animals, my whole body went into major goosebumps from top of my head to the tips of my toes. So that, to me, when that happens, that's a truth that comes through for me. And then the other thing that happened was I did get a vision of your dog Prince, and he was just circling around you, circling around you and circling around you. And that to me was meaning what everyone else was saying is he is so very much protecting you and watching you and taking care of you. And he's very much there for you. That's all I wanted to make sure I shared with you today.
Thank you.
Great, all right. Let's see if anyone else has anything else they want to share with you. Yeah, I appreciate you leaping up and asking your questions. They're really great questions. And yeah, just to feel your passion and your care. Yeah, you're asking your questions and being with everybody and their answers. It's lovely. Yeah. And
I have another question. But,
sure, go ahead. Let's see. We might have time to answer it. Go ahead.
Should I be scared of an animal dying? I had a dream last night of the dog that I'm about to get died.
So does everyone hear? So Latifah's asking, can she be scared of an animal dying? She had a kind of an image, a vision in a dream last night about an animal that they're getting dying. Susie, go ahead.
Okay, so first off, I want to clarify, Latifah is your mom and you're Layla, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
okay.
I'm all mixed up. Layla.
Layla. Okay, no. So Layla, I know when we read tarot cards, there's the death card and everybody goes, ah, it's not about physical death. It's about a transition. So the dog is going, while I can't see a physical death, I do see that there are going to be some big changes and transitions there for you and for the dog. You're actually going to turn that dog's life around. So feels like there's a soul contract there where he comes in or the dog comes in and he's all like, nobody loves me, everybody hates me. And you're going to show him how you can love him unconditionally. That's a great big change. So it's not about fear, it's about change.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Any other practitioners want to speak to that question with Layla and Blossom, Latifah? Yeah, it's great. I love the comment about transition. And I want to encourage you too, that just like the practitioners here on the panel can sense other things about animals that not everyone is able to sense, or they don't realize, they don't know how to sense it. It just sounds like you're really sensitive and you pick up all kinds of things. So I want to encourage you to keep trusting what's here. And part of the journey is not to be scared of it, but to ask the questions of what is this message? Like, what is this message wanting to share with me? Yeah, it's great. Thank you so much for being here. And do you go by Latifah or Blossom? I know you've been here before.
I actually go by Queen Sheba.
Oh, Queen Sheba. All right.
She goes by Layla.
Layla. All right. Queen Sheba. Great. I know who everyone is. All right. Well, thank you so much for asking your questions. It's lovely. All right. All right. Laura is next. Laura. Let's see if Laura is here. Laura D. Laura is not sure if that's you. If you're ready, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Oh, great. Hi, Laura.
Can you hear me, see me?
Yes.
Okay, that's nice.
No, go ahead. You can ask your question. You're Laura
Okay.
that wanted to ask a question, right?
We have a cat, and my cat is here. His name is Leone. And me and my husband, we would just ask if he is happy with us, if he needs something, if he's missing something, or stuff like that. And especially if he's really sad, that we don't let him really have to go out from the house.
And it sounds like he's typing us messages.
Me? No.
No, it sounds like he's typing us messages. All right, Dr. Donna, go ahead.
Oh, I could you tell me, is he neutered?
Is he what? Sorry?
Is he neutered?
Neutered?
See, yeah, no,
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And how old?
Maybe 10 years. We don't know exactly because we take from the shelter.
And how long have you had him?
8 years.
8 years. I mean, he 8 years, and I have been here in this house with both of them for 4 years ago.
And how do you spell the name?
Leone. Leone.
Ah, okay.
Digli che Leone è...
Okay, but what she, even though she's a little bit old, she's showing me like kind of like hopping. Like when she gets playful, she like hops straight up in the air, comes back down, and then she races like behind the couch, and then she flies by you.
Yes.
And when she's letting off steam, she says she's letting off steam. And she said she is so happy. She said she's showing me herself sitting on a throne, and she has a little tiara on. She said, I'm the queen.
Yeah, this is really possible.
You must take very, very, very good care of her. And she said she's not missing anything. She said, although once in a while, she said, you know, that can of tuna you opened, she said you could put a little dab on her foot in her bowl, that can of tuna, because it really smells good. Yeah. And she said she has no wish to go outside. She said she can see everything she needs to see right out the window. She doesn't want to be bothered. She said, why would the queen go out in the rain? She said, she said, I stay warm. I'm cozy. I get lots of love. I get lots of attention. And she said, when she meows, she would, she's a corker. She said, when she meows at you, she said, it's not because she's hungry. She wants to say, and yes, your majesty, what do you need? and then she probably just wants to be petted. But she's usually, when she's meowing at you, she's not really hungry. She just wants your attention, a little bit extra from what you usually give her. But she's one lucky cat, dear. Thank you for taking such good care of her. Is there anything you wanted to ask about her? Or?
Donna's asking if you have any other questions. Did you have any other questions, Laura?
No, we want to just to know if he's happy, and if no one of you has other information about Leone, I would just ask if someone of you can tell from me hello to this dog that I had years ago, He passed away, but he is still in my heart. His name is Iron.
Spell it.
Iron. E-R-O-N.
How long ago did he die?
Oh, more than 20 years ago.
And what kind of dog was it?
It was a Dane dog.
I guess one thing I can say from here, he had strong opinions.
Yeah. Just
He's probably still sharing his opinions.
Well, I'll just put in my 2 cents now. He said 20 years is nothing. He said he's stayed with you all the way. He's around time. And he said he's been making darn sure that you guys don't make mistakes when you make decisions. He's taking care of everything.
Okay.
So, you know.
Great.
He said you just moved into a new place, right? A few years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, he picked that out for you.
Okay.
He's a pip. He's really a lovely, wonderful dog, full of energy still. But he loves and sends his best.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right, great. We might get some more answers for you too. Anyone else want to share with Laura about Leonie and Aaron? Aaron?
I'll say something really quick. I think with Leonie, he seems really open to energy work. So I don't know if you do Reiki yourself or meditate when you're around him or anything like that. Because I do mostly energy healing, and I just feel his energy so much right now. And he's like, "Woo, do some energy work on me." He seems very open to that. So.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to second that the one thing that I would say for him is that he might like getting brushed. I see him really kind of like stretching, and like I feel it in my back that he could use, like that he loves lots of petting, and so maybe a brush if you don't have one already, but something, or like kind of massaging his back. I feel like he would really like that. I feel like you probably already do some of that, but he's saying like more, I want more. So that would be the one thing I would say that maybe you could do for him. And the other dog, Aaron, he, yeah, I just see him having so much energy. And really, when I saw him, I thought he loved you so much. I feel like he was really attached to you and would follow you around. And he was really like a companion. I feel like you spent a lot of time with him. So so I feel like he's just saying thank you. And he had a really great life. And yeah, I see a lot of like joy from him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great, Susie, go ahead.
And I see Aaron as having had past lives with you. He was like this, he really loves the large size, and he was sort of a war hound. So you and he would go charging off and go beating, I guess it was the Picts. So you were on, I don't know the history of it, but you and he have gone to battle together, and he was a stunning dog. And he says, yes, I'm stunning now, and I've always been stunning. But that was that, the brothers in battle. He was a dog, you were a man, but you two went through and just were companions. And he says he will continue to protect you and to be your companion in this lifetime and in others. But that whole battle hound energy about him. He's very fierce and very protective of you. What
Thank
an
you.
adventurer. What an adventurer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for these words. Thank you.
Great. Anyone else want to share with Laura? Yeah, thanks so much. Oh, all right. Carolyn's got something. Go ahead.
Hi, Laura. I'm just getting something from Leone, and he's saying that he was back in Egypt. And he's been many different kinds of cats throughout his different lives, and hence this very royal kind of kingly attitude that he has and his energy. And so he's coming into this life having experienced all of this, but now he's just a small house cat, but he's not small by any means at all. He's got a large heart. He's experienced it all, and he is just so honored to share his life with you. And he feels that you you know how they always say cats would have servants and dogs have, staff, or cats have staff, I guess. But he looks at you very equally, not so much as staff. He really appreciates, and his whole he's learning from you as well as you are learning from him. So he's bringing in lots of cat energy from many different species for you to take in.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It looks like Donna's got something else. Go ahead, Donna. Donna, you're muted.
Sorry. I just have one more thing I wanted to say. Your kitty was just saying to me that he loves it so much when you speak in your native tongue, that he loves it when you and your husband talk to him and talk to each other, that he finds that very soothing, and he would much prefer that that's how you talk with him.
Okay, nice to know. Thank you. Thank you so much. We love to speak in Italian with him. Yeah.
All right. Anyone else for Laura? All right. Thank you so much, Laura, for your questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you for organizing all this event. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. All right, let's see. So we've got then Anissa, Sue, and we possibly have Dee in line if we have time. So Anissa's actually next. Anissa.
Hi, everyone. So my question is kind of about me and a potential animal. I don't know if that's going to work or not, so we'll see what happens. So I have a physical disability, and there's been twice in my life where I've tried to get a service dog to help with that. Unfortunately, they've both fallen through due to finances. It's very, very expensive to try to get a dog. And so I was just wondering if I should be putting my energy and time and finances towards pursuing something like that for me, if it would be helpful for me and a potential dog, or if I should focus more on just providing love and companionship to a future dog, which I want to do and plan on doing when I'm able to as well. Just if there was any insight or guidance. Definitely want to bring more dogs into my life, and I just want to try to make sure I can be helpful to whoever that may be. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks, Anissa. We've got Denise in line and Donna in line.
So, hi, Anissa. By the way, I haven't seen you for a while. It was immediate to me. The first thing that I got was that you should put your effort and your energy into focusing on your value and your self-worth. And that just really stuck out, that it's easy to blame different things, but I think that if you focus on loving yourself, calling in abundance, the financial piece will kind of work itself out. And I don't have a specific answer about which kind of pet you might get. I definitely see with animals. I see you having a really strong connection to them. But I think for right now, the effort should be on loving yourself, accepting yourself, really believing that you're valuable and worthy of getting this service dog. And then the other pieces will kind of fall into place. And you'll have, once you have worked on that, you'll have so much, even more love to give this animal. So that would be my suggestion.
Great. We've got Dr. Donna and then Dr. Nadine.
Anissa, I just had a question. Were you talking about a service dog or a guide dog?
Service dog. So someone that would help me with my mobility and gait. My vision is fine. It's just helping me do things around the house, helping me up when I fall, things like that.
The only reason I ask is I have a client now who has similar to what you're talking about with balance and things, and she has a guide dog, and I couldn't tell you. They come for 9 years, I think, after they're trained, but you don't have complete say about the animal as far as like the veterinary work has to be done at the guide place. You have to take them back there. So there's some control of having a guide dog. So I don't know, maybe service dogs can be trained to help you with your balance too. I don't know that. I don't know. I'm just saying that I'm not saying she's having a bad time. I'm just saying that it is somewhat regulated when you have a guide dog as to what is done with the animal. So just bring that.
Donna, are you just, Anissa probably is very just natural in the way she does things. And so is that more of what you're referring to? Like
I just meant that if the guide dogs don't cost you anything, I don't think. If you have a medical problem, they're provided, but there's also, like I said, some rules and things that have to be followed with them. So I don't know much about it. I'm sure she's done much more research than I know about. So.
Thank you. It's good to keep in mind what potential, not necessarily restrictions, but just guidelines to know in the future. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, Donna. All right, Dr. Nadine.
Hi.
Hello.
So I'm going to go back to this place of self-worth.
Okay.
So what's that feel like when you hear that I am worthy? What's that feel like?
I want to burst into tears and tell you that you're horribly incorrect.
Awesome. So here's an assignment. I love you, Anissa. I really, really love you. Can you say that?
No. No.
Yeah, so let's try. Can you say I like you? I like you?
I tolerate myself.
Awesome. So let's start there. So, but here's how it's worded is I tolerate you, Anissa. I really, really tolerate you.
I tolerate you, Anissa. I really, really tolerate you.
Yeah. How does that feel?
Pointless.
Ooh, cool. So kind of heavy, right? Kind of heavy energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of out of balance energy.
Mm-hmm.
So let's shift that just a little bit. What's a word that's nicer than tolerate? I tolerate that.
I honestly don't know.
What if I'm willing to like myself? I'm willing to like Anissa. Can we get there? I'm willing to like Anissa. She's pretty cool. She's got beautiful eyes, she's got beautiful hair. She loves dogs.
Sorry, no.
Okay, so okay. So I would like all of the practitioners to hold this space with Anissa, because this is huge. This is a huge, and this allowing. So can you take your hands and just put your hands on your heart so that we can help you hold this space? And we're going to say it with you. I love you, Anissa. I really, really love you. And everybody's saying this out loud. Where they are, they're probably all unmuted, but they're all saying this with you. I love you, Anissa. I really, really love you. Take a breath. Put your arms nice and big. See if you can just allow our love into you. And all of us, can we just all send her some amazing, if you want to tone it, if you want to sound it, if you want to send the color to her. I love you, Anissa. I really, really love you. Can you breathe that in? Just allow us to give to you. And would you allow yourself to just receive what we're giving freely? And I can tell you that my team is just sending you this beautiful emerald green and gold. And can you just allow that energy to come on in?
I don't know.
Okay. So my team is asking for permission to, if you're willing, for them to work with you while you're sleeping.
Okay.
And they're willing to work with you over the next 3 nights while you're sleeping to just open this space up. That's all they want to do, is just help you open this space, because this big part of allowing, I am worthy to receive, I'm deserving, and I can love myself. Those are big key issues they'd like to work with you. There's a lot more, but if we go into that, it's going to put you into overwhelm, and it's just not worthy of going into overwhelm. But I can, by a raise of hands, how many practitioners on this call are willing to keep sending energy to this beautiful being, to just allow her to open her heart and receive? And just look at all the practitioners that are here completely surrounding you with this amazing vibration of worthiness and deserving and love. And all that we're asking you to do is open your hands and receive. Nothing for you to do. We want you to really hear that. There's nothing for you to do. Just open your hands and receive. Okay?
I'll try. It's
Awesome.
just hard for me not to say, don't waste your time and energy. So,
you know what? I'm a
try.
cancer survivor. And when I was going through my journey, I had people who were just willing to hold a vibration for me, hold a picture for me until I could step into it. I couldn't get there by myself. I couldn't see that for myself. And the first time I was given the assignment, how it was given to me was to go in front of a mirror and look at my own eyes and deliver that message in my own eyes. And, you know, mine was like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? That was my first reaction. No one can love me. I can't love me. But what I can say is the only person that can love me is me. You can tell me you love me. I hear that, but that little chatterbox over here negates it all, because I didn't think I was worthy of that love. So this big part of the only one who can really truly get me and love me is me. Everybody else around me can hold that for me and shine that to me and share that with me. It's up to me to bring it in. So that's what we're offering you. We're holding that space for you. We're sending that energy to you so that you can allow it in, because you're the only one that can do that. You know, there's a famous saying that you can lead a horse to water. You heard that one? How's it go?
But you can't make them drink.
Ha! So we can hold energy up, but we can't make you receive it. You're the only one that can bring that in. And we are more than willing to do that with you, for you, as you, to celebrate the beauty of who you are. Okay, that's my gift.
Thank you. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nadine. You don't know that all the practitioners know Anissa. She works for me and she's part of how so many people find all of our events. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, so you're who sends all those emails out. Way cool. Ah, nice.
So yeah, thank you so much for helping mobilize all our love and holding space for Anissa while she's on her journey. Yeah, all right. Let's see, any other practitioners? I know Anissa probably is just feeling a lot right now, so that may be enough for her, but are there any other comments about her getting a service dog? You can send her information in the chat or, whoops. Yeah, so I'm sure she'd love to hear about that another time too. And Anissa, if you want more, if you want people to share more about service dog or anything else, just let us know. But I know that might be enough right now.
No, I'm okay. Yeah.
You're okay, and that if anyone has anything else they want to share?
Oh, I'm okay that no one needs to share anymore.
Okay, thanks. If anyone has anything else to share with her about that, we can do that offline too. All
My
right.
cat says hello. He wanted to get up here and go to his bed, so
Yeah, it's lovely. By
he
the way,
was taking in the love at least.
and this I want to mention, just there was let's see, who was it? Someone else shared about that asked the question earlier. Let's see.
Yeah, I just scrolled up. It was Tina, and I'm responding in chat now because I wasn't here at the very beginning. So yes, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, so many of us love Vanessa.
Hi, this is Tina. So if you want to contact me after, I have some groups that you can train your dog yourself, and that cuts down on costs. So if Anissa, if you're interested in that, maybe you can contact Laura Lee, and we can, or Lorelai, I'm sorry.
No, okay. No,
and we can, and I can pass on that information or some links.
I'm just giving, I'm in touch with Vanessa just about every day. So yeah, so I can
Okay.
get you connected.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later after about that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and this is sending you a heart. All right, let's see. We've got one more person in line that we'll be able to get to tonight. So Sue, you wanted to ask a question. Sue.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry, just going to unmute. So I've just been in such a downer for a number of months, and I have two beloved horses, and it's like part of it is with them is I thought by now I would have, I have a little horse property. They live with me here. And I really thought by now I'd have them turned out on a big ranch and they'd be able to just, do their thing. They're big boys, they're still sound, and I still ride them, but just like, we just haven't been doing much. And I don't know if it's that they are just ready to wind it down and retire, or is it me kind of bringing things down, or is it just they don't want to do much anymore? Because I really thought by now I've been teaching elementary school for 20 years. I thought by now I'd be back to working with animals again full time. And it's just, I just can't keep it together right now. Like mentally, I'm just a mess. So I'm wondering if you could just give me some clarity on like, would the thing that maybe helps me is just to get them back in a little bit better shape and do a little bit more with them. And I have a show coming up I could go to in a few months and this and that. Do I need to do that? Or is it more about just letting them wind down and, and transition into retirement?
So, hi, Sue, this is Nadine. And the first thing that kicked in when you started talking is this is not about you. This is not about them. Would you agree that the last year, 2020, kind of had a lot of changes, a lot of wonky energy?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes. So they've been working their little tails off like crazy to balance energy. But that's them. Your part in this has been to really detach from doing for other people. It's really been about finding out where your joy is, finding out where your passion is, finding out what you want to do. You literally get to write the ticket for moving forward, right? But I was a high school teacher and I never learned the beauty of just stopping and taking a breath and celebrating success. As a teacher, no, you get a day off, a half a day off, and you're right in again. And so everybody else gets a break and you're out writing lesson plans and everybody else got to go home and enjoy themselves, but you are trying to figure out what the next 4 weeks are going to look like, right? There's not been a downtime for you. So what I'm looking at right now is it's really time for you to unplug and find out what brings Sue joy. With the horses, they are right there with you. They've been working on the neighborhood, but they're right there with you, taking a break, taking a rest right now. And they're asking you to start communicating more from your heart, not from your brain. Your brain needs a break. Can you reach out to us from your heart? Can you communicate to us with sound and color and singing to them? They really want you to be singing and dancing and playing with them and being in joy with them versus having to do, right? It's not about do, no more do. And there's a song in that, no more do. It's time for you truly to learn the dance of life and the play of life and the joy of life. And the boys are waiting for you to be the triad again and to just play and be in joy. So they're waiting with you. And so the other part of your question is, is it time for them to wind down? And they're very adamant, not time, girl, not time. Right? That's how they're talking to you. So play with them again. Color and sound are two big things with them. So what they like, one of the boys is showing me a big colored ball that you can put out with them and they can like play with the ball, chase the ball around. But they really want to hear you toning, hear you singing, vocalizing your thing. So even if you're out, scooping poop, you could be like, hey, baby, what you doing? Hey, baby, I'm scooping, you're pooping. Make it funny, play with them. But they really want to hear your song, your joy, your being in life so that you're creating your next steps forward. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, because like I used to, they have all these jingles and songs and I really haven't been singing to them. And like I used to call them like, one of the things I used to call them was honey bunches of oats.
Yes. And there's a commercial for honey bunches of oats. And it's like, hey, baby. And they keep showing me this scooping the pooping. We're scooping, pooping, and tooting and the tooting and scooping, pooping. And they're having a blast. They're having a blast, but they really would like to see you play more and be enjoy more. And they keep saying no more doo-doo. And they're not talking doo-doo from the poop. They're talking about the doo-doo from the, I got to get it done. And here's the next task. And it's like, it's really super time as a teacher for you to unplug, put the books away, put the students away and say, it's Sue time. It's Sue's time with the boys. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Blessings.
That was right on. Thank you very much.
All right, we've got Carolyn in line and then Denise.
Hi, Sue, it's Carolyn here. I loved everything Nadine said, and I just want to contribute and support that by saying this is about you taking care of yourself, you self-care. You have to like she was saying, it's like time for you to spend time on yourself. And these guys can help you. What I'm seeing is you just go out in the pasture, sit on the ground, meditate, let them be there, kind of let them heal you, let their energy come to you. You just be, because they are healers. Their heart energy is so huge. I have a horse. I understand completely what you're saying. I ride, and they can do so much for us. And they want to help you. They want to give back to you, because they know once they get you back on track, then you guys can get back to working together again and doing what you want to do. But first, you have to take care of yourself. And, you can just be sitting out there with them and be with them. And whatever happens, they may just come up there and just put their head on your shoulder or just stare at you, and they're sending you energy. And just be there. and allow yourself to take time for yourself, because you can't help anybody else, or you can't do anything until you can refill yourself. You got to refill your gas tank. You have to refill your heart. You have to, and again, this year has been crazy, and it's depleted us all, and and plus if you're teaching, I mean, that's got to be so stressful and crazy. So it's time for you to take care of yourself and let them help you. So that is my contribution to this.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Denise and then Donna, thank you so much.
So I actually heard, let us be your medicine. And I feel like just spending time with them will help you get out of your head, stop thinking about all of the other stuff, and don't worry about what's ahead. Don't worry about, is there going to be another event, or what are we going to do tomorrow? Just try and spend time with them and be in the moment. And the message that I got was that you will heal each other. And what I'm thinking of is going back to a time when you worked with horses just for enjoyment. You did it just because it was fun and there was no pressure. And I think, I just think that will be so healing for both of you, just to get out of your head and try and be in the moment. And they're very happy where they are. The other thing that came through right away when you were saying this or that, and they said, we just want to be with you. So I feel like, try as much as you can, try not to worry about what's happening next, and just try and be in the moment with them.
Thank you.
Dr. Donna?
What I was shown was that, horses are huge healing animals. They have innate healing ability. And whether they touch their to your chest or they hang their head over your shoulder, they're always transmitting healing energy. And what they were showing me is, now I have trained on the reservation, Native American healing, but what I'm being shown is, have you ever ridden them bareback?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're asking you to please ride them bareback, because they want to transmit their energy directly from their body into you. Okay, no saddle, no breastplate, no. If you could just even do it with a halter without a bit, they would. They whether you're walking, you don't have to be galloping or anything. And they're also showing me, would you please, you know how Native Americans, even to this day, they tie a large feather. It doesn't matter what kind. It can be a goose feather or duck feather or any kind of feather. But you know how you tie the feather into their mane right behind their ears? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And they want you to do that, because that is a sacred symbol of their spirituality and their ability to heal. So it would be a reminder to you that when you're with them and riding them bareback like that, and they want you to do both of them, not one of them, but both of them.
Okay.
Doesn't matter
They
how
both
long,
go
both
too.
of them.
I just put
Yeah.
a rope
Yeah. Oh yeah. Around. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, they
Yeah.
love that. Okay.
But both of them, not just one, but first one, then the other, the next day,
Wow.
one first. But they said in that way, doing that, and they said you can take the feather off after you're done because they will soon roll and pull it out anyway. But they're asking you to replace it each time that you ride with them. Whether you just use a rubber band and put it on, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
sometimes Native Americans will also tie all kinds of colored ribbons, the 4 directions, the red, the black, the green, and the white, or what, I can't remember now. But, so you could take little strips of cotton material and tie that in there. I mean, but just not because it's anything more than for you to recognize and take in that healing energy. And they said, as long as you're seeing that visually, you're also opening your body up to receive the energy, the vibration that they're sending you. Does that make sense? I don't know how else to explain.
Oh no, we're very connected. Like, I know that. I know we're very, we're very
Yeah, so doing that symbolism, it also allows you to intently, to make the intention to be healed by them. And by them being allowed to heal you and bring you back to center, they also in the process get grounded themselves and get their chakras straightened out, perfect, spinning perfectly in a clockwise direction, and their circuits get opened, and and they get balanced, their lateralities, left to right, right to left, anterior, posterior, and as above, so below. So you're helping them to get I don't know what the word is. I want to say full. That's not right. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying.
But to get the balance, maybe
they will come back into
balance each other out.
Yeah, they'll come back into their wholeness by doing this work with you. So I hope that helps, dear. And believe me, I taught for 30 years. I know exactly what after I retired, it took me an entire year to slow down. And when August came around, I was like skipping in the garden, like, oh, I don't have to go back to school this year. And I still have nightmares. I just had one this week that I had an anatomy class to teach. I hadn't made the outline. I couldn't find my book. I couldn't find my notes. And it was 5 to 8 in the morning, so.
I hear you. I hear you. I just want to find a way to balance and get the animals and the kids back. Because I'm really connected with kids too. And it's a responsibility. It's a responsibility that's such a weight, that's, but good luck to you, dear. I'm sending you love and hugs from one teacher. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, so Sue, one thing that matches with your eyes with what people are sharing is that I think you have the sage talent. It's about communication, community, playfulness, and fun. And it's about vocal expression and the community of everyone together. And I see 1 or 2 birds on you. And so just that people are talking about, I don't remember if they said singing, but like playing and just being with the animals, and also just being with them, and the community of being with them makes so much sense to me. So singing and playing and the touch, that all makes sense to me, and really just playing with the horses. So just being out there with them and touching them. And I'm curious about your birds. And I have 2 assistants, and the other one is on the call too, and she loves birds. And so she would love to see your bird or birds.
Oh, yeah.
There are 2. Are there?
Yeah. So my neighbor brought these by for me to babysit and hand feed. And then she ended up just saying, I can't take them back now. They're yours. I've had them for a few months now. And it's a lorikeet and a conure.
Yes, great. My assistant knew it was a conure. So yeah.
And there's the conure. And I just call them the pirates. Like, I named them, but I wasn't calling them Little Pirate and Big Pirate, but they were supposed to be in bed, and they were listening to this call and making so much noise. I had to bring them out, and then they just started kissing me all over. I was like, you guys, I don't have any questions about you. We already know you guys are a couple of hams, but they're just hysterical. And So the fun about teaching at home is that, you know, they come on Zoom, they're with me all day, you know, when I'm on the computer. They just think this is part of it.
Yeah, well, my dog has never like wanted to come over and be on stuff before, and he's like been here the whole time. I put him down and he wanted to come back. So
yeah, you people have some really good energy, but yeah, these guys they're hysterical. Yeah. So
yeah,
anyway.
so going out and being with your horses and kind of playing with your horses in the same way that you're playing with the birds, and giving the horses an opportunity to do that with you too. That seems really good. So practitioners, if anyone has anything else to share with Sue, go ahead. I know we're just getting right here to the end. Okay, yeah, we may be all full and there's nothing else left. Thank you so much, Sue, for your question and for sharing your horses and your birds with us and your question.
No, thank you. I can't even tell you. It's just, I've been in like an up and down for so long, and I just needed some clarity. And I bet I'm going to have some really good dreams tonight. And like you said, thank you. I want to thank everybody. I love what you had to say.
Well, so welcome. All right, let's see. Get us all in gallery again. Well, so thank you everyone for being here. I put in the chat, there's a feedback form. If you're willing to share your feedback with us, you'll get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us, of the practitioners of your choice. You'll be on our email list and find out what other events we have going on and other specials. We've got lots of other events going on. I know I haven't posted that in the chat yet. Let me grab that. And then all the practitioners are going to share again their names and what work they do and how you can get in touch with them if you want to connect with them. And there should be information in the chat just up a little bit too. I should say too, we did something new today too. We put in donations. So it's if anyone wants to share just any small donation or anything like that and your appreciation for being here, you also can share about our upcoming events. That's really helpful to us too, to just help grow the community and bring more people in. That's great. So practitioners, yeah, let's go through. Maybe we'll just go ahead in the same kind of order we did before. And I don't know, let's see. So where did we started with, where am I? Carolyn and Cindy and Susie, and then probably say Carrie, Denise, Dr. Nadine, Dr. Donna, and I'll share at the end too. So yeah, go ahead and just let us know what you do and where people can get in touch with you. Carolyn, did you want to go first? Yeah, just do it on because we're recording this and we're going to upload it, and that way anyone that watches the recording can find you also.
Okay, so my information, is my web.
Tell us your name and tell us what modalities you're working against.
Okay.
So we'll know all of what you do.
Sorry, Carolyn Osborne, Energy Intuitive of Chiron Energy Medicine, and I work with people and I work with animals. I do energy medicine healing for both the people and the animals. I do medical intuitive readings, and I'm an animal communicator, and I also work with the energy frequency machine, the healing machine, for balancing for both the people and for the animals. And it's all about bringing the body and everything back in balance. I do a lot with the emotional, the mental, and the physical. And I offer a free 20-minute consultation to answer any questions, and we can go over anything that you might have to ask. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for being here and all your contributions. All right, Cindy.
Hi, I'm Cindy McGonigal. I'm a psychic medium and an animal communicator. I'm located in Southern California here, just outside of Palm Springs. And what I do is my pet and me readings. And what that does is I connect you with your pet and help you to understand how to listen to and understand the messages that they really want you to know. And I combine that with a little psychic reading as well. And I use palmistry and numerology to help you understand hidden talents and abilities that you're bringing through in this lifetime. And the numerology connects you with people that would be very good business partners with you going forward and life partners. I do psychic readings, and I love to connect with you in any way I can help you. I have a YouTube channel, and you can find me at Cindy McGonigal on YouTube. There I focus on Earth messages and connect you with power vortex areas and what the Earth wants to share with you in terms of what's going on right now here on the planet. So I encourage all of you to subscribe to my channel to find out what's going on, help you link into the Earth and what's going on. And I look forward to helping you in any way I can. And my website is cindymcgonigal.com. And I have a second website called psychicpalmistcindy.com. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Cindy. All right, we've got Susie next.
I'm Susie Parker Goins of Blue Lightning Healing. I'm a channel and I work with you to connect with your spirit guides so you can develop a relationship with them and work with them whenever you need to. I'm also an energy healer, Reiki master. I can scan your bodies and help you identify blockages and what's causing them so you can learn how to resolve them and dissolve them on your own. Also do past life exploration and resolution, which ties so many other things in your lifetime together. I have a podcast called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations on like 10 different platforms and a YouTube channel. My website, oh, and that, did I say Blue Lightning Healing Meditations? Well, I just said it again. My website is bluelightninghealing.com. The best way to get a hold of me is at my email at susypgoins@gmail.com. That's SUSYPGOINS@gmail.com. This is always such an amazing opportunity to share with you all, and I learn things and I get to meet fabulous people. So thank you all so very much for being a part of our community this time. Talk to you later.
Thanks so much, Susie. All right, let's see. I don't remember exactly. I know we've got Denise and Carrie and Dr. Nadine and whatever order is working. Someone else jump in.
I can go. I'm Carrie Russell with Meridian Learning Northwest, and that's meridiannw.com or carrie@meridiannw.com. And I am an energy healer, animal healing. I am a former school teacher, so I really appreciate working with younger children and teens. I do a variety of things. I can do, right now I'm doing mostly distance work because of the COVID days, which means I can go far and wide these days also. And I do individual sessions. I teach classes online. I have a Access Consciousness Bars class coming up on Saturday that I'm teaching. And that's a modality that you can learn to take the 8-hour class and become an instructor. And also done Reiki. I developed my own technique called Meridian Flow. And I help just the body bring more ease by clearing out blockages and things to promote healing. Thank you.
All right, great. Who wants to jump in next?
I can go next. My name is Denise Dunleavy, and I'm an animal communicator and energy healer, and I do intuitive readings. I forgot to mention earlier, I'm also a certified animal massage practitioner. That is local, and I'm in the Portland, Oregon area. But I love connecting people with their pets, and I would love to be able to talk to you about multiple ways that I can help. You can reach me at intuitivedenise.com. That's DENISE. And my email address and phone number are there. So feel free to reach out if you have questions. And thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks so much, Denise. All right, let's see who's all here. I know we've got Dr. Nadine and who else is here?
Dr. Donna.
Oh, Dr. Donna. Yes, yes. One of you go ahead.
So this is Dr. Nadine, and I am a master healer, a naturopath, and a medical intuitive. And I offer healings for animals and humans. And my gift is to be able to see into the body and to see multi-levels, multi-dimensions. We really meet you where you are and take you where you want to go. And my team we specialize in healings. So while you may come with a question, your soul knows why you're here. Your soul knows why you came, and you will always get more than what you thought you were going to receive, always. If you'd like to connect with me, my website is magnificencemine.com. My email address is drnadine111@gmail.com. So if you're out on my website, there's a little tab called classes. And once a month, I offer a class called the Animal Channel. And we are meeting this Saturday, and we're doing the whole program on Saturday is called Asking and Allowing, Permission-Based Communication with Your Animals. So I'd love to see you, and I know the information will be back in the chat as well, to see in case you need spelling. But thank you for having me. Have a wonderful evening.
Great, thanks, Dr. Nadine. First time with us, and I hope you come back. And Dr. Donna is next.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donna Sauer. I'm an animal communicator, and primarily I'm an animal energy healer. I also do Reiki master, and I follow Lakota healing traditions. I work with animals both in the physical and those that have crossed over, and help their guardians and the animals. Always the animals are the highest order for the work that I do. So glad that you all were here tonight. I learned lots, and thanks everybody for the panel people, because you always bring so much that I had no idea about. So anyway, we had a wonderful evening, I think. And thank you all for coming and visiting with us.
So Dr. Donna is like the panel people, like the pod people?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. And so thanks. Well, let's see. So I'm Lorelei Schmaio. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. And I'm available at LorelaiSchmaio.com. That's LaurelISHIMAYO.com. I do eye readings. I do all sorts of life leadership and love coaching. I'm a matchmaker. I help people determine their life purpose and take steps. I help companies hire people that are a great fit for the role, for the team, for the culture. All kinds of different things. I do authentic relating, circling, and games, and I'm helping people be true to who they are. It's a great practice field for living as who we are in the rest of our lives. And I host all these events. You can learn about more of these events at MeWeFairs.com. And the coming up events are, we have a panel on love this Friday, February 12th. We have a panel on opening to receive support, seen and unseen, on February 19th. We have a MeWe Fair with, I think we have like 18 practitioners this time, practitioners and vendors, and that's on February 20. We've got a panel on crystal healing on February 24, a panel on medical intuition and energy healing on February 27, and many, many more events at MeWeFairs.com. Thanks so much for being here with us. We look forward to being with you again, and thank you everyone for holding space and holding the energy for all that we do together. And thank you so much everyone that brought questions and supports us to be here. The information on all the practitioners is in the chat. You can support us also by reaching out to practitioners and doing private sessions and sharing about them with other people. Thank you very, very much. All right, I'm gonna turn off the recording, and